What's up, guys? It's executive editor of the Artie Lang podcast, James Flippin. Artie finished up the show the other night with Sam Morrill, Caleb Brookhart, and Ryan Lena. And before the show ended, the guys kept talking for another hour. So they ended the show, but they still recorded some more stuff. So we have another hour with that same ending to the show. By the way, I'm behind the scenes, pretty much since the beginning of this podcast. If you guys are interested in checking out what I'm up to, you can follow me on Twitter at Jamadrop, Jamadrop, and many of you already do. You can also check out my podcast at flippinoutradio.com as part of the Radio Misfits podcast network. But I want to get into the show here. We start out with Caleb asking when the show will be up.
Is it on the network subscription tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
What we have it's just the my website.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying network. That was great. We're signing up a lot of people. The Fixing Joe Matarich podcast.
Yeah.
We're currently in talks with them. We're just gonna get the classic episodes.
Well, it's Fixed Joe now.
Oh, it is. What not fixed? Are we on, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Why from fixed to fixing?
He changed it.
Why?
Because he said he was fixed.
Ooh.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
He's got it all together.
Wait, no, it's fixed, so it says fixed.
Yeah.
So why don't you say Joe podcast? Who fixed him?
Joe said he fixed himself.
Oh, so I thought
the good people at Zola.
Yeah.
So love
the
was
new
one of his
show
subscribers. No, it sounds like Adderall. I said, Joe, you're high. And Joe was never a drug guy. Then he gets Adderall, which is the new euphemism for methamphetamine. And I said, yeah, I used to get high all the time on that shit. You're high. That's why you feel good. You're high. You're on meth. You're on speed.
I did actually. This is weird. I opened for Joe.
Right.
When the first weekend he was on the drugs, and he was like a mess.
Right.
And I remember we saw some movie together. It was like George Clooney played like a corrupt politician, and the movie, whatever happened, the movie ends with a girl killing herself.
Right.
And he turns to me and he's like, "Is it weird that I feel nothing?" Like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Someone's dead. It's a pretty sad movie.
Well, the Clooney's movies are hit or miss.
The Ides of March, was that it?
Yes, it was that.
Dan,
It's a pretty
of course,
good movie.
Dan knowing the name of that.
I like this.
Ides of March, is that it? Yeah. She's every film.
Oh, I got to tell you, Joe Machi.
Joe Machi, I got to tell you, first of all, Joe Machi's another comic, hilarious guy.
Great comic.
High voice.
Shit person, but great comic.
Sam and him are sometimes a bit of a team. They're funny together, and he'll be on the podcast again soon. I love Joe.
Yeah, Joe's
great. So you got a
great.
Joe Machi story.
Yeah, well, it's just because I never told you this. When we did your show on DirecTV.
Right.
Joe.
Yeah, Sam and Joe, I feel I deserve some credit for introducing you to the country. Which, of course, the Colbert Show, I think, was Sam. No, but I had you guys on. You're always funny. So you guys did the show together, right?
And Machi loves you. Machi was always like a huge fan of yours.
Really?
Yeah, and he was nervous as hell. He doesn't like doing interviews. He
hit it well. He was hilarious. You both were great, but he has that quirky way. But he doesn't look like smooth.
Well, so a screw is loose with Machi. So
Right.
we're in the bathroom after. I'm just peeing. I just hear someone vomiting in the stall next to me, and I'm like, "Are you okay in there?" I don't know it's Joe, and he's just like, "Oh yeah."
That high pitch. Wait, because he was going to be on my show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he
So
vomited
flattering.
afterwards. He was nervous. But
Wow.
But he has bad anxiety. But I just thought it's fucking hilarious that he's like,
Yeah, well, that's very sweet to hear. The only person who admires me with a high voice, Joe Machi. No broads. Oh, here's the Stern clip again. Please don't go back. What if you just saw a big picture of my fat face?
and the news broke today.
Exactly. Towelhead hater Artie Lang.
Yeah.
But Machi is a stickler, so like
He's-
if he doesn't like something, he's vocal about it.
Oh, really?
And he
Oh,
loves
okay.
you.
Well, listen. I think you guys are both obviously. I knew from just a few minutes you're smart, funny guys, and I like you guys were in your mid-20s at that point. That's already 4 years ago. Is he your same age?
Machi's he's a little older, but he hides
okay.
it well with that cherubic grin. He's creepy face.
He's got some really hilarious jokes. Like you guys.
He's a
are
machine.
Great
He is
writers. You're great. That bit he does about going back and killing whatever.
Dude, that Hitler joke is like it's the best Hitler joke. He's ridiculous.
Well, Jeff, this is the best Hitler joke. Knock knock.
Who's there?
That's all I have. Who's that? Hitler. Hitler. No, the New York. I always wonder if they stole this from him. I told Joe this. The New Yorker magazine. Did you know about this? They really had, for all the yuppies who read it, they had a poll. Would you go back and kill Hitler as a baby? That was a real question. And it was after I heard Joe's routine. And I said to Joe, maybe they stole it from me. It's believable that one of those asswipe writers with pretentious bore fuckface writers.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience. Would be the one article I get written in Rolling Stone, my name's on the cover above Springsteen. A chick from Vassar is my reporter. The headline is "World's Biggest Loser." Not kidding. I'm not kidding. And then she describes my life and goes, Artie Lang is a she goes, she starts out with 5 compliments before, 5 compliments, half a page before 9 pages of bashing. She hung out with me for a fucking week.
Is that the one where they came here to do a photo shoot?
Yes.
And you were in sweatpants?
Yes. I was so heroined up. I should not have let them in. Norm saw the picture and said, you should have a rule where no one with a camera should be allowed in your apartment. I was that chair. I took a picture and I had this jacket on with no shirt underneath and a cigarette. A cigarette. I needed a shave, and I was on heroin. You gotta take it. You get sick if you don't. Long story. So this very effeminate Asian guy, of course, is
there any other kind?
Is the photographer. And I probably said stuff that offended him. And the woman is just sitting there rolling her fucking eyes. I knew it. So the first part is stuff like Artie Lang is one of the higher paid comedians. She roused off the salary I make, and I didn't tell her that. She talked to my agent and shit. Thank for that IRS call, bitch. And anyway, and when my bookie reading, I make $100,000 a fucking thing. You got to pay off the Bronco thing. This, that, the other thing. Well, stuff that was kind of rock and roll. And then she goes, but here's the problem.
Oh, jeez.
He's also a drug addicted, homophobic, racist, carousing, out of shape. I'm like, first of all, get to the insult.
I like that she lists all those things and then throws an out of shape.
Yeah, out of shape. Exactly.
Now you're digging.
I mean, if you list the first 5, is there a chance I have abs? Drug addicted. And by the way, excellent swimmer.
Drug addicted personal trainer.
Yeah, exactly. Mayonnaise swilling. Donut dunking, pork chop chewing slob. Who also does a mean sit-up. Whore. I called her a cunt on the wrap-up show 4,000 times. But here's where I win. You know why? In my man cave down, I framed the cover. My friends aren't. No one's opening it. I didn't know who was going to be on the cover, and I'm like, it's probably fucking Justin Timberlake. This generation's fucking Neil Young. Lance Bass or Britney fucking Spears. They're fucking talking about Jumping the Shark. James Corden's on the cover of Rolling Stone, and one of this generation sucks. But present company is accepted. No, you got it.
We had it coming.
So anyway, no, I mean, no, you're right. I think I underrate your generation. My generation doesn't have a story like that tobacco story. I don't know one guy.
What can I say?
It's a killer, man. He's got that bit's actually like 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
right?
I could tell you guys rehearsed that. Like Sam out of nowhere, Crowbar said, "Nice tobacco box." Caleb.
I think you should retell it in a car with James Corden.
You should. I think fucking Michael Moore's going to do a documentary on that. Bowling for the tobacco story.
That's all you need now. You don't need to be like a good show. You just need a thing. Like he's got the carpool karaoke thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but
Kimmel's
that's something
got
at least,
tweets.
right, exactly. But at least I know I love Jimmy, but again, something insanely unoriginal like karaoke. I mean, that's what fucking housewives do.
He needs
That's
a
what you
tobacco
see at a
story.
bar, and you're like, "Fuck this bar."
Yes,
We're leaving.
You're like, these people are the direct opposite of funny human beings.
I once did a thing at a bar it was a karaoke bar, which was like a great idea.
Right.
And there was a guy who just like he was singing Wild Thing, but instead of like singing Wild Thing, he was just walking around like talking the words Wild Thing to random girls, and he was like Wild Thing.
Well, yeah.
It was like the creepiest thing I've
Well,
ever
the
seen.
guy probably gets laid from it.
Like, well, he was like 95, I'm pretty sure, but definitely.
Johnny used to work at the dock.
Yeah, but you just need a thing. That's all you.
That's all you need.
It's not about ratings now. It's about
Get it
like,
done.
relevance. You
Right.
know, that's what they'll say.
You need a tobacco story.
Is that relevant? Or like car karaoke?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the
Yes,
thing.
I
I
mean,
hate when they say
the
this.
Adele thing got like
Okay.
insane.
Yeah,
I
hits,
hate when they say this. They go, Gordon's brilliant. He went viral with a video. He sang an Adele song. With Adele! If you march Adele in here for 20 minutes, and I can do it, I guarantee I'll go viral with something. I guarantee if the Adele comes in here,
Yeah, but that's it.
I will
It's
think
the
of
getting
something
the
that will go
song.
viral.
I don't know, man. You've got Ryan Lyon and Caleb Brookhart. I think this one is going to go viral.
I'm saying, if one of you, if Adele tells the tobacco story, hold on.
I'd love to see that.
I don't have the.
It's
I don't
just
have the
about
star
getting.
power.
It's just about getting the names. Really.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. You gotta have something about you. God forbid that thing is talent.
Now it makes these people feel closer to you when you get these person. You know, like Fallon. You're playing a game. They're like, oh, he played a game. It's
Right,
very. It's like, why is that such? I don't get why.
It humanizes Artie Lang. No, you're right. I played ping pong with Susan Sarandon on the Fallon show, and you know,
Did you win?
no, because Fallon fucked up, and I got competitive. He had a small little paddle. I'm like, are we joking around? Or are we playing these broads?
I want to win, damn it.
It was her and Olivia Munn who was hitting on my girlfriend, which I jerked off to all night. I think Olivia Munn might have fucked my girlfriend. Without me there. I'm kidding.
That hurts the story.
Of course I'm kidding. But, you know, yeah, I'm playing big, and I'm like, all right, well, let's at least win, and me and him lose to two broads. And I go, dude, it's not about fucking, you know, a fun little idea with you with the short paddle. I want to beat these chicks.
I want to win.
I played in the sitcom softball league when I was on the Norm sitcom. You know, and it's misleading because you play the crew, not the cast. We lost to Suddenly Susan 15-1. I tell my buddies I played softball in Jersey that Brooke Shields fucking stopped my grounder at third.
She's playing the hot corner, man. It's like
Kathy.
watching Brooks out there.
Kathy Griffon, the hot corner. The best thing heroin ever did in my life. I used to fall asleep every day on the biggest radio show of all time. Kathy Griffin was telling a story. She was crying because she told her mother her dream came true and she was nominated for an Emmy, and you hear me snoring. It is it's the funniest thing I've ever done. I wasn't awake. You hear Howard going, so what? My dream was always to win an Emmy, and when I got nominated, I called my mother. My father just passed away. I said, Mom, I just got nominated. and does he have to be here? Howard asked me to leave the studio. He asked me to leave my job. I was making $900,000 a year. He asked me to leave the job. I went in, I kicked her makeup artist out for the Today Show she had coming up. And believe me, that makeup artist earns her fucking money. Oh, the living Christ. Did you ever see Kathy Griffin without makeup on? Oh. It's like the tobacco story.
She looks like.
Except in worse shape.
It's like no. So anyway, that was out of line. But so they kick me out. I pass out. I wake up. This was so surreal. I'm in the dressing room. Doors locked. It's 4 p.m. Everybody left. The show ended. 2 hours were left on the show. They let me sleep the whole time. I woke up like, what's happening? I walked out like security saw me, like, and the security guys thought I was such a fuck up. They love me. Go, oh, there you all right? The DEA came to visit me at the show because after fucking what's his face died, Heath Ledger, they heard me say I had the same heroin dealer as him, and they come to see me because they want to know if that's true. They're investigating. And I didn't get to say the punchline because Howard talks so quick. I was going to say, yeah, I married Kate Olsen. She went there supposedly with pills or something. And I said, no, I was kidding around. I couldn't get the joke out. 2 DEA guys come to my work. Oof. Okay? The security guy said, the black security guy, like, Artie, you are one entertaining fuck up. The DEA, the one with the windbreakers, the worst optics.
The person who's like seen some real shit. It's
Exactly.
just like
Exactly. No, I mean, like, how did that doesn't sit well with your fucking boss, the head of series? You're like, where's the DEA here? Terrible. But yeah, the Kathy Griffin with the snoring is fantastic.
that's pretty great.
You got a sure anecdote about a meeting Whitney Houston backstage. Ugh, my gaze. Anyway, Joe Machi, we're gonna have you on. Would you come on together here?
Hell yeah.
Uncensored.
Sure.
I love Joe, and again, he got a bad day here. It was a bad luck of the draw. Sam Morrill, you know, everybody in the audience knows that I did the Godfather thing with Dave Juskow. Apparently, I didn't even realize I committed to like 4 more weeks of it. And,
Is it an off-Broadway run now? Is that what you do? You sign on?
yeah, way off Broadway, man. It's an off Route 22 production. So he did a podcast afterwards talking about the whole show, and he reviews Sam's stand-up, which was amazing, by the way.
Thanks, man.
And really great. But here's Juskow. Can't let a compliment lie.
I did my stand-up first, you know.
Don't you?
I think that went well. I was
calling it
nervous
nicely.
about that,
That
all
was
day. And
stand-up.
then Sam Morrill got up.
Wait, you know what? Roll back, because you'll hear the compliment he gives himself. This is overrating, okay?
I did my stand-up first, you know. I think that went well. I was nervous about that all day. And then Sam Morrill got up. He was fantastic. It went a little long, but he was having a rough day, so I let it go.
What?
I was having a rough
He needed
day.
the encouragement
I
from
was.
the people.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what was the rough day? What happened? First of all, he can't let Fantastic lie. What a bitter,
That's
jealous,
prick.
resentful comic.
I
He's like,
can't-
a guy 30 years younger than him was funnier, and he can't let it lie. He's like, he was fantastic. Pause. Went long.
Okay, first off, you think I wanted to go long opening your show cold after you fucking eat it, Juskow? No. You had me on
It
for
took you 10 minutes to dig out of the hole.
Yeah, I was up there for like over 20 minutes. He didn't tell me how long I'm doing. I'm just kind of like, all right, I guess I'll keep going.
Well, me and Maneve were saying how great you were. Then we realized, well, you know, a comic killing, you know, and a parody of The Godfather. The last time I did it, the young people didn't even. I was doing great Godfather inflections, quite frankly. Nobody got it. Nobody saw the film. That audience was better. They knew who Clemenza was. For Christ's sake.
Who the hell hasn't seen The Godfather?
Well, I mean, they didn't give their young people. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
But you know, so I had a bad day. I made the mistake. I can't fake it when I have a bad day.
Yeah,
I wear it. I wear it on my face.
bad at
Everyone
faking
can.
it.
Everyone. So like, if I'm. in a
what
bad
happened?
place-
Can we talk about it?
Yeah,
or not?
yeah. Beth and I broke up
Okay,
at
Beth,
this
you're lovely.
time.
Okay.
And I get there, and he's like, "What's wrong, man? Something's wrong." And I was like, you know, Beth and I.
Just got does. He can tell. He's a
He
broad.
can tell. He's really
He's like a
is.
broad. Yeah,
He really is. He could sniff it out, and he's like, and I was like, nothing. He dug it out of me. I was like, Beth and I, you know, broke up, and I was in a bad place.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the Village Underground.
and then, of course, and then he turns to Liz, the manager there, who's like a friend of mine.
I love her.
And Liz is like, she's like trying to get started. He's like, give it a second. Sam just got dumped. And I'm like, dude, come on. I don't want this. I don't want this front page news for fuck's sake.
Hilarious. Sorry, we're on Oprah. I don't know that.
I'm like, can we keep it to a fucking, you know?
He's like that. He's like Dan's like that. Dan's got he's in touch with his feminine
And
side.
so then, so I was having a
He's very
bad
good.
day.
Yeah,
but it's amazing, man. It's amazing. The cellar cheers me up so much. It's just
That's
being
why
there
what we
is
do
like-
is great
Yeah.
because you go up there and you get a laugh and you go everything's fine.
And I'm good now. We're back together, but it was a fucking bad few weeks. And you know how it is.
Well, look, absolutely. Do I know how it is? Who's this chick? No, everything's been rosy for me. I was on a Rolling Stone cover story. It was a bad day. I somehow ruined that.
Juskow, that is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, well, I did. Juskow's a guy that I love for a long time.
Oh, he's the best.
And the only guy, one of us had balls enough to get a day job. He said, "Fuck it." And he had a
His
day
episode
job.
of Sarah Silverman is the best.
I never saw it.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
it's he plays a character named Slip Yeagley,
Right.
and he's a neighbor who does practical jokes. And Sarah does a practical joke on him, throws a paint can at his head falls off, and at the funeral, his head's in a little tiny coffin, and his body's in a big coffin. It's amazing. It's so funny.
Well, you know that really happened.
Yeah. It's a true story.
Juskow is so funny. There's
Yeah.
so many great Juskow stories.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great off stage.
I once opened for Tell Caroline's, and he was giving Juskow guest spots.
Yeah.
And they were going fucking badly.
Well, Dave always works with me because it's like hit or miss. When Dave does very well, he's great. But it can be bad.
Well, he's doing, he's closing on a Michael Caine acting impression for Staten Island coming in over the bridge.
Well, exactly. Gilbert Gottfried can understand why the bit where he does Jerry Lewis singing a Cole Porter song at the end of the film. He's doing an Abbott and Costello riff. It doesn't hit him with the millennials. I know, but in a way though, the references are like you love that about him, but you can't expect that to do well.
Right. We love it, but I remember he got off stage.
Sure, absolutely.
And I was hosting. He got off stage, and Russ said something like, it was a rough set, and the crowd could feel it. And Russ said something like, "Wouldn't it be great if you just heard a gunshot in the green room?"
That's great. I did. You talk about seeing great comics when you're young, and you realize sometimes you get discouraged. The first time I went into the Comedy Cellar, I was 23 years old. This is 1992. And for 6 months, I never even tried to get on stage. I went to clubs and sat in the back. First guy, this is an old story, like the legend of Eric Clapton sees Jimi Hendrix and cries and says, "I got to quit." But the first guy I saw was Attell.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
I said, well, if everybody's like this, like what
in '92 he was that funny too.
Yeah. Well, here's the joke he did. It's going to be dated. I remember this joke. The first joke I heard him do. It involves a cassette tape. A record store named Sam Goody, and John Denver was still alive. That's how dated the joke is. Here's the joke. First joke I hear a comic do at a club, and it's Attell. He goes, John Denver, there's a guy who missed the boat musically. I was in Sam Goody the other day, and a John Denver cassette cost 99 cents. A blank cassette cost $2.50. Laugh. John Denver could triple his money if he'd shut the fuck up.
That is great.
That's perfect to tell.
I walked outside because I didn't have enough room to laugh, and then the depression hit me. I'm like, oh my god, the queers party's going to go awful here. Second joke I hear him do, I go back in. I hate traveling because my father used to beat me with a globe.
That's beautiful.
He used to beat me with a globe.
The economy of words it's insane.
He's one of the best, if not the best joke writer ever.
He's incredible.
And his riffing comes out in perfect jokes.
I like the one he has where he says, sometimes you need a cigarette, like after you make love to a nice woman or a confused young boy.
Right. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Unbelievable stuff. It's like it always goes the other way. It's like, he finds angles.
Yeah,
and he still does. He's one of my best friends. And we became very good friends because we had a lot in common off stage. But
he calls me one of the cellar whites.
He's
so funny.
He's just one of the, and again, another guy who has all this humble humility about any
too much humility. It's self-hatred.
His low self-esteem held him back a little bit. I mean, he's a legend, and amongst a lot of people, but he could have been more on an acting side. I think he gives him enough credit acting. He's better than he thinks he is.
He was. We did a gig once in upstate, and we're driving back in some theater, and he's hating himself, and he's like, man, I fucking suck.
He thinks he wasted his life. I was talking to him the other night at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was dropping him off, and the same conversation every night. It's always like, I hate myself. Did you hear that young kid from Baltimore's tobacco story?
Every time.
The whole way back, I'm like, dude, we all think you're the best, and he's like, well, I'm better than you guys.
I'm not talking about you.
That makes me feel a little better though. Because, I'm always like, I'm terrible. At least I know David Tell is the same way.
Well, the problem is you're right.
True, very true. Very true.
No,
yeah, but Tell is.
Your act. You set that up. I had a swing.
Underhanded.
I'm terrible. I got respect for you. But go ahead. What's him? What are you going to say? You got another Attell?
Oh, there's a million of those
I just say, the
amazing lines.
The ballsiest thing ever. This story's great because it's the balls on it. When we did Afghanistan, me, him, Florentine, we were over there for 10 days. DePaulo, Baba Booey, of course. Fucking weasel his way into that. And it was Florentine, Nick, Attell, and myself, and Gary. And you know, it was because I was on Howard. They called me through my agent and said they want you to put together the tour, and now I got a headline, which means I got to follow Attell, Florida, you know, and DePaulo, you know. But you know, they were just great crowds, and they were happy to see us. Everything went okay. And again, Attell and Nick are the type of guys who they adjust. They don't bury me. And the shows were all good. But this is how fast and ballsy, and when I say risky and dangerous, the guy, the Marine, and the other guy running the USO tells us there's two rules, two things you can't goof on. This is 2008. Bush was still in office. Can't talk about the president. He's the commander-in-chief. I don't give a fuck what your politics are. And we're like, you know, we were all fine with that. There's no problem. We won't talk about the president. The other thing you can't talk about is masturbating. Hand to God. Like,
that is so weird.
Because they'll go crazy.
I guess it's an epidemic.
Yeah.
When I say, you know, when I tell the story, I'm like, I was over there for 10 days. I broke a record. But, you know, fine. We won't do it. We figured out the right formula where Attell went first, which kind of gave buffers in between. And Florentine will follow everything, and then Nick, and then Gary went up and took the heat, and I went up, and it worked out fine. So Attell's the first guy. After we get that speech, first thing out of his mouth. They say we can't talk about masturbating, and I'm going to adhere to that rule. I won't break the rules. What I'd like to do is open with a story about a time I was fucking a sock with shampoo in it. Got like a 10-minute laugh, like an ovation, a laugh, and after that, there was nothing we couldn't say. We could talk about the president masturbating after that. You know,
Never said that was off limits.
And what I'm saying, that's really dangerous. That's like that's just like, I'm so happy to have those memories of being a contemporary people like that in Afghanistan.
That's amazing.
Like, what a story! Awesome. Like being with some of the funniest people on the planet.
In one of the worst places on the planet.
Right. Well, and when I say the funniest people on the planet, my black Marine bodyguard, who made fat jokes the entire time. We were under mortar attack. I had a fake laugh at every joke because he's saving my life. We're under mortar attack. Literally, it made the Daily News. And we were under mortar attack one day. And I said, "What happens?" I said to the Marine, "I go, what happens if one of these fucking things hits me?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, look at this shit like this right here, man. One of these motherfuckers hits you, you're gonna be dust. You're gonna be done. You're gonna feel shit, so don't worry about it. You're just gonna be dust." And then he goes, "You're gonna be a lot of dust." And I gotta clean that shit up. So have an apple, motherfucker. Have an apple. So they go, "Great one, great one."
An apple fruit.
And you know, it was just, I don't remember being scared once. Because it was just with people. That's the great thing about being a comedian. You go to work with funny people who really make you laugh. You know,
man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, like, you know, guys like you and Dave Attell and that Asian chick from Geico. That's like a good Esther Koo punchline.
Oh man!
Oh, I hate when those young chicks from stuff like they start talking like a comic, like hacky. Those guys, shut up. Hacky.
There's so many times I've seen Attell, and it's just like made my day so much better.
Right.
It's amazing.
I always used to say when we were in Vegas, I said, you know, let's do a bit. And he hated this, and I was like, I said, why don't you be my Tell? Like every time I get a good card, David Tell shows up, and we'll make like a bit about that. He goes, you know, and then he goofs on my writing for about 15 minutes. I said that wasn't a real thing, and then I said, well, yeah, think of the show. The show could be you show up when I get a great card. David Tell is my Tell. And he goes, "You really want to do that?" I go, "Yeah." And for a day, he thought I really wanted to do it. He was completely neurotic.
So he'll shit in it forever, and then he'll show up, and he'll be like,
Right.
"Do you want to do it?"
He was completely neurotic. He goes, "I don't know if I'm right for this." I said, "I need a guy named Attell." And you know, but the guys are just so fun. You know, it's a lot of fun. My real tell is I violently shit my pants. Yeah, but think about going to. You think about being with funny people in New York and you're home. Think about going on the road. Cleveland in February could be fun. You're in Vegas. You know, it's a blast. It's a blast. So my advice to you young guys is keep this up.
All right.
Because this is landscaping.
They're young.
No, you're right.
It's your landscaping.
Well, you're all young to me. I got 18 years older than, 19 years older than Sam. I told maybe about a little. little less than that. But it's great to see like younger people. Like I enjoy watching Sam. I enjoy watching you do a set. I like it.
Thanks,
it makes
man.
me feel like the old
You
days.
too.
And when
I loved watching your story at Ari Shaffir's show.
Yeah,
That was
not
fucking great,
happening.
man.
well, the one that we did here. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That pig mask thing.
Oh no, that's the one on TV. Yeah.
Well, no, I saw you do one too though. I saw you do the one where you're puking.
I shit into my pants.
That was fucking
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
dude. I
That's a
love
true
that.
story. I played Santa Claus on that.
Yeah. I'm confusing because I watched one. I saw
The one that, and again, they censored it. Like the one online that's uncensored. The one that aired, I like, but it destroyed. And I'm like, what are you're making the show where the one online uncensored it's one of my favorite things I've ever done on TV, because I told that story on Howard before and it went well, but I really told details about the drug dealer. The weird part about that part of my life was that drug dealer, I love the guy. Like, he was one of the best friends I've ever... He was technically poisoning me for money. And he was a dreadlock black guy who was my best friend. The best parties I went to were with him, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Only orgy I've ever been at to this day, he took me to.
How's he doing now? Do you know?
He's dead.
Still orgies.
Fuck.
Here's how I found this out. And I was genuinely, and I end the story, the uncensored part, with saying this. And I almost well up because Howard wanted to have him on the show after I told the pig story. And I said, I know some guys. So through a mutual contact, I said, this guy will know where he is. And there was this chick that I knew too that he saw on and off. And they had a violent Sid and Nancy relationship. And he was like the type of drug dealer. He was like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. He was like the wolf. That day, I was in Malibu in a pig outfit. At 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, he goes, "I'll go meet me in the parking lot up the Pacific Coast Highway at Duke's Restaurant." I go, "Okay." He beat me there. I'm like, what are you at a party nearby? It's Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I'm like, how are you here right now? In a tux. No. I get out of the car. I never told him what I did. I'm in full pig prosthetics, and I don't realize it. And I get out of the car. He knows I want Coke, and I'm panicked. And he sees me. The look on his face. What kind of crazy shit are you into? Oh, he was so great. But anyway, he got into a car. He was in a metallic blue Corvette with this chick who I knew too, who I liked actually, on the Pacific Coast Highway on the northern part of California. And if you've ever done that, it's the greatest thing to do with a chick. If you have a convertible, to put the top down, drive up north and take the long way to San Francisco. The boarding way is 5 hours, 8 hours the scenic route. With these mountains are connected by bridges, and there's bed and breakfasts that are real like romantic and shit. He was on that part of the Pacific Coast Highway doing. This kid gave me the details because he knew him well. About 120. He swerved and he was fucked up. Swerved, hit a truck. The car like disintegrated. Like they couldn't recognize the bodies. Him and the girl dead.
Damn.
That happened. The pig story happened in 1996.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah, 1996. The pig story. I got on Stern in 2001. He died in 2003ish. I called him right after the story in 04. He had been dead about a year. And I remember I was very choked up about it. Like, that's the odd part about that story. I love that guy. You know, he was, 44 years old at the time. And, that's why Ari let me give those details in that part. And I'm glad I did, because it was kind of a little tribute to the guy publicly. He would have got a kick out of it, as long as I used a fake name. But, yes. Did you ever do that, Joe? The stories, the thing with him?
I did it at that one with you, and then I did it in Montreal, but I never did the
Do you
TV
veer
one.
off from the jokes? The jokes are so good, it's hard, because Attell doesn't even tell stories, because the jokes are so good. Do you tell stories ever on stage, like full, like
Yeah,
long ones?
when I do like long sets on the road, I'll tell like one or two a set, just because like doing. I mean, well, it depends where I am. Like,
Well, a joke writer on your level, like I always tell Attell, I go, you could, you could, telling you we can work that bit out.
I love it.
You could write a story and then punch it up, which makes it a stand-up.
I have a
story.
couple of those, but yeah, I'm not just a storyteller like you. Like you can just tell a
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
I can't do that.
And I'm not a joke writer like you are. And I mean, like I think if you tell a story, you could punch it up with enough jokes to where you could get away with it at a club. It's hard at a comedy club. I'm glad Ari let me do that, because I never had the balls to fucking try that in stand-up.
Yeah, but I feel like yours can work in a club. Like yours,
I see. It's funny. I never thought that because you always have. I remember going into the comic strip when I was 24 and fucking Lucian going, "I need a laugh every 11 seconds." That's in the back of my head.
What?
So when you tell a story, like I hate that intimidated me to that day, but now I know how to tell it.
well, your stand-up, like your CDs and stuff, are like it's like that.
Yeah.
But
Right. It's
But I remember seeing those club guys like Attell and Geraldo coming up and just being like, "Fuck, it's got to be rapid fire.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be.
Yeah,
anything
it's
but-
hard. And the club used to. When I got better at it, at the level I could get it, I've never been on near as hell. And I say to him, my most comfortable thing is not the rapid fire. I like the pauses. I like story.
right.
And I like showing them you're not scared. Like that's the whole. And Attell does it in a different way, but
Yeah.
an audience is like a dog. They can tell when you're scared, and they'll attack. Especially lately, if they're drunk, some of those cellar crowds, man, I don't have patience for them.
If you don't like the cellar, man, don't stop in any of the other clubs.
well, I'm just saying,
it's all
that's
downhill.
why I get mad at the cellar when they're acting like not a
Right.
cellar crowd.
Yeah,
Right.
same.
You know,
Or they get
it's a
tourists
funny
now.
bone in fucking Missouri. You
Right.
know, it should be. It shouldn't be.
Oh,
that.
dude, you ever do Deja Vu in Missouri?
No.
Oh God,
No.
it was like comedy club on
Dude,
the second
what other
floor.
business can you have that question? Dude, you ever do Deja Vu? And it's the second floor. It's
Second floor, first floor, dance club. And then
Perfect.
it gets sadder on each level. It's
Could you
it's
work
rough.
in it? Could you complicate? Everybody laugh now.
It's brutal, man.
It is.
And you know you're in like not the right club. Where they're like coming next week, Dustin Diamond.
You're not in the right club. Screech. Everybody laugh. Screech was on Howard and he was supposed to come and do the funny bone with me in Pittsburgh. He was a no-show.
What's he? Is he a decent dude? I mean,
No.
he seems terrible.
No, asshole. On top of, you're when you feel sorry for him, that whatever, you got pinned into that, and then you meet him for 4 seconds. You're like, I'm glad you're Screech.
He's in jail right now.
What happened?
He beat the shit out of some guy or some woman who pulled a knife on him in a bar.
Oh no, that was a long time ago, right? Like that.
Yeah, but he just violated his probation or something.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I was just
Wow.
on TMZ the other day, and
That's
frequent
a
that
rough.
site.
If you're his parents and you know what he looks like, and he gets offered Screech at that age, you really got to go. One of us should get a job. Because it's child abuse.
clean hotels or
It's
something.
child abuse. Well, yeah. Well, your parents are honorable.
Yeah, yeah.
He really went the other way of Mario Lopez. That guy's doing great.
Mario Lopez. You know how many times Mario Lopez fucked a chick? Screech had a fucking crush on him. Hey, how you doing, Screech? You having a good time at the party? I fucking love my life again.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Lopez is going to moderate the next Hillary Trump debate, I think.
Emlo, how many times has he scraped cum out of those dimples? There's optics.
Those Saved by the Bell, where are they now? That's,
yeah.
that's a real weird
First
one.
of all, my favorite thing, I used to have I DVR'd it because I knew it. His toe fungus commercial for the stuff that gets toe fungus away. Do you know the premise? Do you know it?
No.
He plays, I'm telling you what, Brando could not have done a better job with this. It's for a thing that gets rid of toe fungus. And he plays a guy like a Ryan Seacrest in a tux on a red carpet. And here's the turn he has to make. A limo pulls up and he's like, who could it be, guys? Is it George? Like, you think it'll be George Clooney. And instead of George Clooney, toenail fungus comes out of the Not the thing that gets rid of toenail fungus. Toenail fungus comes out of the car. So he's got to go, whoa, toenail fungus. And he does it brilliantly. You buy it. You buy it. At the end of the commercial, he's with the toenail fungus. There's a two-shot of him. He's got his arm around a toe, like a puppet of a toe, wearing sunglasses and a hat, and the fungus is gone. And there it is. There's the two-shot, okay? I tweeted out once, I said, I tweeted that picture, and I said, this might be the only time when somebody asks a human being, who would you rather get a beer with? The only time a person would say, the toe wearing the sunglasses. that is the, yeah. two of the most unlikable things: Mario Lopez and toenail fucking.
Oh God.
But he's great in it. There's another version where he kind of mails it in. Okay, here's the commercial. Here's the audio of it. Just the audio. You even buy it.
Here on the red carpet, where our next arrival is. Whoa, toenail.
Go back. Let me make my point here because it's a real point. You know, I did this once at the Stress Factory. I ended with the video, and God, that was fun. All right, he's on the red carpet. He thinks George Clooney's coming out, and it's toenail fungus. And as an actor, he has to make you believe he really is surprised. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, I'm here on the red carpet where our next arrival is. Whoa, toenail fungus.
Fight it with Jublia. Jublia is a prescription used to treat
He
toenail
couldn't even
fungus.
land tough acting in action.
It's a poor man's tough acting.
Ingrown toenail application site redness, itching, swelling, burning, or stinging, blisters, and pain.
Oh, epic moves, bitch. Getting ready for your
Epic moves.
Your doctor in Jublia is right for you.
Blistering
Visit our
pain.
website.
Blistering pain, redness, bleeding from your ears. Whoa, epic move. Toenail fungus.
He's doing fucking commercials for the RC Cola of fungus medication.
Absolutely.
Jubilee's gonna
Listen, what's he getting paid? A fucking Screech is in the joint. Imagine if Screech sees that commercial in jail, in the common area, he just breaks the fucking TV.
He's like, that should have been me.
But you know what, man? Like, as corny as Mario Lopez is, he seems like he's just like a nice guy, and that fucking goes such a long way.
Guess again.
Is he a piece of shit?
I never met him.
Well, I mean, Dustin Diamond, that guy seems such a
He
such a
did, you
toxic
know,
douche.
but maybe there's a reason for him to have anger. Like, you don't, like, there's behavior that's not justified. I mean, Charles Manson's mother was a whore who turned tricks in front of him. I'm not justifying the Tate LaBianca competitors. But,
yeah, but there's people with shitty, I mean, there's people with shitty childhoods who are great people.
I know. I'm one of them. No, I'm actually shitty on both ends. But yeah, it's listen. The fact of the matter is, you know, I hate when these guys like Malcolm Jamal Warner they shit on stand-up. They think it's so fucking easy. They just go, okay, I'll be a comedian now. And Dustin Diamond said, I'll be a comedian now. And I yelled at him on Stern. I'm like, you're not, come on, man. He goes, I'll show you. I'll get bigger laughs than you with the funny bone in Pittsburgh. So I said, okay, great. Let's do it. I don't know, maybe you will. Didn't show up. Ha ha ha! Fucker.
He's a fucking hack.
Yeah,
man.
well, I guess I hope I would. God, if he beat me with the laughs.
That would be a defeating day for just
That would be-
everyone in
But if he
comedy.
did,
We'd
he'd
all
do
be
it
sad.
with like hack bullshit.
Yeah,
and your
yeah.
crowd wouldn't have fallen for that.
Well, let me tell you something. Well, some of them might have been. I'll show you a picture. You'll meet them. Sam will meet them soon. Sam honored me to say yes to maybe doing some shows together.
I would love to do it,
That'll
man.
be
Let's
great.
do it.
Well, you're closing. Get ready. No,
And we've heard you go long.
yeah.
Let's do it, man.
No, absolutely, that's gonna happen. And punch up the fucking tobacco thing, dude, and we could do that too.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm actually going to get back to Ari about doing that on This Is Not Happening.
All right, gonna get back to Ari. That was nice.
Thanks.
Who is this fucking piece of ISIS? Look at her.
Ariana Grande?
Is it? Who's
that her?
Ariana
Yeah,
Grande?
Ariana Grande.
Who's Ariana Grande?
I have no idea.
Oh shit! You know, I used to hook up with a girl that like lives in her building.
Ariana Grande?
Yeah, because she lives in some just like.
Sounds like a Starbucks drink. Take an Ariana. Let me get a fucking Ariana. Fucking what do they call them? Tall.
She looks like an ice sculpture. She looks ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I fucking fuck her.
You know what she looks like? She looks like she was in Mars Attacks.
Who doesn't?
man.
Who doesn't? Oh god. I bet. You know what? If she had any honor for talent, she'd fuck the fat ass guy from Roots.
It's like her ponytail is too tight.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, you're right.
She has
She's
a
too
landing-
perfect.
she has a
Too
landing
perfect.
strip on her
Look
forehead.
At her. Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Step on that guy. Too perfect, too fashionable. Everything's the hippest thing on the planet. The hair's perfect. You know, have
What are
a
the
ledge.
flaws?
No flaws.
What are the flaws that we can at least like pretend that they're attainable?
Let's
you
just
know?
sit here and shit on her all day.
Give us
That's
a
right.
snaggletooth or something.
I know. How about 6 toes? How about you blue Artie Lang? How about putting that on your resume? Talking about the Roots guy. She should fuck the guy who plays the tuba in the Roots. That's a unique thing. Many guys were comedians. You want to get when I do the Tonight Show, I've killed 7 times. I still have to tell 80 stories to the fucking segment guy. He doesn't trust me yet. Let's hear what she got away with. You ready?
You're doing this, and you're doing
Hairspray as well.
You're doing Hairspray on NBC.
I can't.
No tobacco story, that's for sure.
Is that the...
Nothing as good as that.
Wait a minute. That's the same...
Fallon can fake enthusiasm to fucking anything.
Right, no, but
He's so excited about Hairspray.
That's the whole That's the game. That's the game. See, Letterman, sometimes he couldn't do it. Like one time, and he wouldn't throw these broad ropes. One time Cameron Diaz was bombing. You know the story?
Yeah.
With a fucking story, and he's just letting it linger. He's not fucking. And she's like fake fucking nervous smile. And then there's a pause, dead silence. And he goes, after like what seemed like a year, Letterman goes, "So how do you like making them movies?"
But you know what? There was something mean about that, and people nowadays, they want nice. They want Fallon to be like.
They don't want me. They're exactly. They get upset. They were brought up on those MTV fucking specials where Richie Sambora tells you when to grow on, what's a bad word, what's hate speech.
I like that Conan will kind of comment
got
on Conan will like comment on a bomb, whereas like Fallon kind of will
Conan has that self-deprecation. Well, yeah. Jimmy does. Jimmy's way more edgy than he lets on, but what he's doing is working. It's like, and he does amazing impressions. And again, you get Neil Young.
He's an entertainer.
Absolutely,
right.
He's
vaudeville. He's old school.
He can do everything. Absolutely, and I've actually had fun times with him over the years. And he knows how to turn it on and off. And right now it's working. Why not? He's burying everybody. Colbert's not even in the ballpark, right? I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Colbert's got. I mean, do you think he's gonna stay on? I mean, what's gonna happen?
I don't know. I would take the money and run. First of all, you want to fucking appeal to Middle America. Say it's Colbert, okay? Like when Johnny Depp had that movie Chocolat. I'm not saying it. I said, you want to see chocolate? We'll see chocolate. I'm not saying chocolat out loud. That fucker. I'm not paying for the movie. I'm not saying 2 for chocolat. And paying for it. I'll either pay for it and say chocolate, or you're paying and you can say chocolat.
With Juliette Binoche.
Yeah, exactly. Juliette, right. Fuck you. Sade. What was Spade had a joke about Sade. I mean, come here, Sade. My name is spelled S-P-A-D. I don't pronounce it Ralph. Didn't see that one coming. See, what are they talking about right now? She's getting it. She's bringing a black guy into the conversation. What are they laughing about?
I want to talk about the fragrance. Let's talk about this.
Oh, another business venture that's going
Sweet
well.
like candy. Here it is. I have 2.
All right, I'm just getting madder and madder. The Baltimore kids are getting scared.
Oh no, it's all right.
Oh, this is fantastic.
We've seen worse.
You guys are,
We're from Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Now, you guys, did you know that guy who the cop snapped his spine? Did you know that guy?
Not personally. We heard about it, but
he's actually my biological father.
That was a rhetorical question. He does the landscaping?
Yeah, he is right there,
What was it, touch and go in there in Baltimore, or what? I mean, was it scary?
Well, I was actually at the game, the Orioles game where the riots happened.
Right.
It was fucking bananas.
What was it when Cal Ripken didn't play the last game?
Well,
yeah, no, that is bananas.
It
now,
was crazy.
why would you choose bananas?
That's just like one of my sayings. I don't know. I love saying it's bananas. I don't know why.
Black people, Ryan, that's what you choose.
Oh, I should edit that. That was crazy.
It went bananas.
But no, like they.
Boy, well, those riots were bananas.
Yeah, they shut the gates. Which, have you ever been to Camden?
Bananas. Don't try to deflect. I'm ending your career right now.
It's over.
Look at him. You ever been to Camden Yard, Johnny? Bananas.
There's gonna be a Tumblr blog about you tomorrow.
Delonte West fucked your mother. Bananas. That's your Niagara Falls. Boy, when those guys rioted, it was bananas.
Yeah.
This is where it ends. All because of
all because of an Ariana Grande. Fucking No, well, you guys are. It is. I mean, can I riot where people are looting? That's got to be the scariest fucking thing ever.
I was
unless you need a dryer.
Yeah, we were.
I was actually supposed to go to a concert the night that the first riots broke out.
Yeah.
Right.
They fucking canceled it, so I just stayed home.
Yeah,
How did you pick a
that's what I
story
was
worse
there.
than the fucking other one?
I'm sorry.
The end of the story was I was going to do something, and then I went home.
You made the riots boring.
What, would you want me to go down and get involved so I had a story?
No, edit yourself. Edit yourself.
All right.
Don't tell the story. I have a lot
Well,
of.
you asked.
You know how many times I've gone home instead of rioting? I don't bring it up on Letterman. I'm kidding. This is great. These guys are 21 years old. You got to take the shit.
No, it's expected.
You know what Bill Maher used to say to me when I was your age? You take the hit. New rule. You suck.
Oh my god, dude! I gotta remind me to show you Kyle Dunnigan's Bill Maher.
Oh yeah, the impression.
Oh my god, it's fucking
Bill Maher. You know,
so smug.
Andy Kaufman used to do a character where he wrestled women. He would go to Memphis, Tennessee, and wrestle women.
Yeah.
And the rednecks there would get mad because he was wrestling women. And Andy Kaufman would act like an asshole. Of course, ironically, would say, "I'm from Hollywood. I'm smarter because I'm from Hollywood. You're dumb." He would play an asshole. Bill Maher is that guy. Bill Maher in real life is the asshole character Andy Kaufman. It's just terrible.
It's
Go ahead,
also
what?
like, no, it's just always just, he'll say something shocking and he'll be like, everyone knows that Muslims
Of course.
are terrible. And then they're like, boo. And he's like, oh, another liberal agenda. Like, he acts like he's saying something edgy, but it's just.
He gets effeminate too. Like, oh, I get it. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, okay. You know what? You're stupid. For believing in God, you're dumb.
Oh, please. I love pussy.
That's what he does. Yeah, exactly. He's got the, he mocks on Trump. He's got the same personality flaw. You can't insult him. He immediately goes at you.
Oh,
He's
dude,
an
his interview with
egomaniac.
Burr was painful.
Yeah.
Where he's condescending as fuck. To
Well, I did Politically Incorrect when it was on ABC. I got booked on it when I was on the Norm Show. And it's me. Imagine people were on vacations in Hollywood. They see me on the Bill Maher Show, a guy they don't know. Some lawyer who was like Republican from Florida. Tom Cruise's first wife, whatever that annoying cunt.
Mimi Rogers?
Yeah.
Ooh.
She was next to me.
She was hot, though.
And the third lead on VIP with Pam Anderson. That's who they saw. That's their vacation. Talk about a disappointment. And Bill Maher's hosting, and the show wasn't like a big hit. So the guy who fucking produces the show, Billy Martin is his name, comes up to me and goes, "Listen, Bill loves the environment, and the first story's about the environment. Go at him with that. You're the comedian. Bill likes to, mix it up." I'm like, all right, whatever. First story about the environment. They go to me, and I go, he goes, article in the New York Times, Artie, what do you think of that? And just as like an opening little thing, I go, out of the New York Times, who reads that rag? And it gets like a little giggle, whatever. Bill Maher lets the giggle go down and goes, "Thank you, Artie, for the dumb opinion." And
oh my God.
I'll pause, and then I'm about to say something. He goes, "We'll go to a commercial." He threw it to a commercial after he called me dumb. And after they said, go at him, and that wasn't like my closer. I opened the dumb opinion commercial. All right, I don't say one word the rest of the show. The rest of the show, Mimi Rogers is yapping like a cunt, and I'm fucking there. I look like I want to tear Mar's head off. Underneath it says Artie Lang comedian. I look like Charles Manson. I would have fought him. Like my jersey came up. And everything you're saying, the smug thing, and he's like this big. And I just got up and left, and he ran after me, and he said, "Hey, man, I hope it went well." He goes, "Tell Norm I said hi." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And last time I talked to him for 3 years, here's what's great about Howard. I tell the story on Howard, and he hated Marr. Howard lets Marr come on after he made those 9/11 comments about like we weren't brave and the terrorists were brave. So
that's classic Marr trying to be edgy,
right.
by the way.
Well, exactly. So Howard goes at the very end of the interview about that comment. Bill Maher goes, "Oh, by the way, Bill, we're going to end with Artie wants to say something to you." And he goes, "Yeah, Artie." I go, "Thank you for the dumb opinion." And then Howard hung up on him.
Whoa.
I high-fived Howard.
That's incredible.
I said, "Thank you." I go, "Where else in show business is that ever happening?"
That's
like
insane.
that. I said it, and he hung up on him. And Bill Maher went on a Bash Howard tour. He goes, "It's a den of vipers over there. I'm never doing the show again."
Well, you know what, man?
I got the
no
last
one's gonna
laugh.
deny that he's not talented. Like clearly,
He's
very
a smart,
talented.
funny guy.
He's smart, but like
he's a professional
He
comic.
also gets away with saying some shit that I'm like, dude, that's the hackiest joke I've ever heard.
He gets away with seeming smart to people when he's not. You're right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He'll make jokes, and I'm like, that is a straight up hack joke, and
yeah.
it'll get, and then he'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, like you know,
Right.
he's like, oh, please, like he's very
Well, the fucking audience is clearly people he's loaning money to or something. and he kills with jokes in the monologue that would Cincinnati fucking yucks.
He's kind of like the
You need
prince.
something else.
He's like the prince in Shrek, you know, who you're rooting against, you know.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
I'm rooting against Shrek as well. That's a perfect thing. Well, listen, I couldn't agree more. I have the tape somewhere. I guess it's on YouTube. I guess like everything else.
Yeah.
But that's what he did to me. Go at him. Go at Bill. What the fuck am I doing? And then Norm, he kept asking Norm to do it, and they had the same manager. Bill's the great. Norm's manager goes, Bill Maher thinks you hate him, and Norm goes, well, tell him yeah. All right, guys, well, this might be the longest I've ever talked to someone from Baltimore. Yeah. Now, you guys know how to hang. It was a little crowded, but the guys come back again. Honestly, come back, as soon as you get money for gas.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
I will give you some gas. But I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
And good luck with everything. I mean,
Thank you.
come back and do the podcast. And
I'd love to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you go to New York maybe and try to go to some clubs? Where could they go, Sam? I'm out of the loop. Where would they go to get some stage time?
I don't even know. I think maybe like, the Creek is always good.
Yeah,
you know what
in
the
the
Creek
cave.
is.
Where's the Creek? In Brooklyn?
Long Island City.
Long Island City.
I've heard
Rebecca
like
Trent runs it.
Creek
she does a
and
good
Cave?
job. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we were looking it up, and then like there's like it's called like Laughing Buddha comedy.
Well, what do you
something
guys?
like
Are you guys like? What is the Creek Game? Is that an actual comedy club or an alternative thing? What is it?
It's kind of an alternative room.
What does that mean these days?
Well, they have a lot of open mics. They have a lot of independent shows.
But is it straight stand up when they say alternative, or is it stories like
everything? They have. I mean, they have like weird. They have a show called Wildcats that
Right.
like Eli Sayers runs.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
Gail Sayers.
it's pretty much it's all stand up from the show, but they just open with the most offensive shit. You could think.
okay.
It's insane. And it's so like the last time I did it, they opened. It was like a kid pretending to be a Make-A-Wish kid and a wrestler meeting his wrestling icon, and he's just calling him like racial slurs and stuff. It was brutal and like not. I mean, but it was so fucked up that I was dying. It was so funny.
That sounds like a great place for the queers parody.
It's gonna go over.
But it's just like it's a good creative space, and then there's like I don't know.
Is it a safe space like on a university?
It's a good space.
No, that sounds cool. Like, well, what do you guys do? Do you do straight stand up, right? You do, okay.
I do mostly like one-liner type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you could do it. I mean, the great thing is you're young, man. That's the best thing ever, and you're already way ahead of the game than I was. The fact that
Thank you for having us
thank
tonight,
you.
man.
It's
This
awesome.
has been the most surreal night of my life.
Yeah.
definitely
still can't
come
believe
back without question.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Unless I get Ariana Grande in here. I mean, if I can get
You have to keep her on ice.
if I get a few more subscribers, I'm going to put a robot like you have her and never leave. But we'll have you back getting good. I mean, more than. But you should come up here and try the clubs. Baltimore's a hop.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. People on the road, the kids I say, I'm like, you guys got to get out of St. Louis somehow. It's great, but.
The competition here is good, and it's good to be pushed.
Oh, yeah.
It's like good to see really good comics everywhere. And
the best in the world are still here, I think. Because if you just want to do stand-up, you should go here besides L.A. If you want to act, that's still probably the place. But if you just want to become a good stand-up and you're young, there's no other place.
This is where you get good.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And the generation that I like about with Sam and like Michael Che and these guys is they say outright, I said to both you guys, I think, what do you want to do? And a lot of guys, even from my generation, were shitty. They wanted to get a 7-minute set to get a sitcom. Or something. And guys like these guys would say, I want to get good at stand-up. I want to be a good stand-up comedian.
Yep.
And that takes time. And that you guys, Che and Sam have achieved that already, but then you want to get
Well, Che on a fucking another level. He's on the SNL.
No, I know, but believe me, you guys are in the same town, talent wise. It's a tough business, but this is still people try to argue like New York may not be the place for stand up. Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah. I think the best comics are here. I mean, there's a lot of great comics in LA. There's no question.
Sure, but you can't.
We get better shows. I mean, this is more dense. There's just more good shows here.
You could do more, have more stage time, obviously, and get better at it. I moved. It was like culture shock for me because I moved out there with a job, the best possible way. The first time I was in Los Angeles was a screen test for Mad TV. I got it, and I moved there. I was making $10,000 a week, from driving a cab. My stand-up money went up, and all of a sudden, in my head, I was rich.
Right.
I went to the fucking Laugh Factory, did a set. I couldn't do one other set. I gotta get in a cab. Where's the Comedy Magic Club? It's 4 hours away. It's hard. Here you get in the subway, you do 6 shows a night.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What's the most sets you've ever done in one night? I love asking that question.
I think. I don't know. Probably like 7 or 8.
Yeah. Now, where? What other clubs do you do besides the Cellar?
The Cellar's the main one. But I think on a night like that, it was probably like a few at the Cellar, a couple Gotham.
Like 3 at the Cellar, Gotham.
Maybe Stand Up New York.
So Gotham isn't exclusively a headliner club. During the week, they have feature stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, they have showcases. But on a weekend, I'll maybe like pop around. You open for someone.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah.
But the Cellar, Eastville. It's like easy if it's all downtown.
You do the Stand at all?
Not really.
Is that an anti? Esty doesn't like hearing the Stand, that type of thing.
She doesn't like it, but that's not why I do it.
Right.
I don't do it. I mean, they are how they are. They're
My advice to you, a guy like on a level like that, I should tell her when he was younger too. Like, what are you intimidated by? Esty ain't letting you go anywhere. Like, you can't be rude, but I wouldn't be intimidated by it.
Really cool.
She's great. She's great, but she's smart enough to know you're good enough to where don't be intimidated by you're not going to get asked back for something.
No, I don't even think.
And I wouldn't tell that to anybody. Anybody.
I'm trying to just like work a lot, but I think you go where you wanted, man, and it's like they have their guys. They manage comics and they put their comics.
That's the worst part of the comedy club thing is the conflict of interest when these guys start managing guys.
I think it's a weird thing.
It's really weird. Barry Katz perfected it in the day, and Claudia Hobbin up at Stand Up New York with Zach and back in the day, it was you got bumped because you weren't their guy, you got to host prom shows and give.
But then again, if you're managed by those guys, you're like, hey, you better give me fucking spots if you want.
No shit. But Barry Katz got very powerful. It's like, I mean, Tim Allen's coke dealer has a replica of Fenway Park in his backyard. All right, my coke dealer is fucking dead. Corvette. Any plugs? Let's end this with some plugs.
I'll be at High Tops at T. Brad Hudson's show. Drink Till We're Funny this Sunday at 9.
Great.
And
in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yeah.
High Tops is the name of it?
High Tops.
Okay.
And I'll be at Magooby's the 29th with
great place
with Ryan and Joe Matarisi. But it's a great place.
Ryan here and Joe. That's the show. Are you hosting and then in the middle?
No, it's a showcase.
It's a showcase.
Okay.
We're not at that level yet.
Tell Joe he's not fixed.
Okay.
And you want to say?
I'm going to be doing Sound Room in Hanover, PA, this coming Saturday.
It's a good place too.
What is your Twitter? You say your Twitter?
My Twitter is @CallMeSkeeter.
Now, what is your Twitter? He's a tweeter. Okay, at me Skitter?
A Skeeter.
Okay.
SKEETER.
What is the purpose of that?
I made it when I was like 14, and everybody at the McDonald's I worked at called me fucking Skeeter.
You are literally you're 27 years younger than me. Jesus Christ. Go ahead. I was your. The year you were born, I got on Mad TV.
That's incredible.
My God.
My Twitter is @RyanLina_is_funny, which is really presumptuous, but I'm a douche. So
is that ironic?
Yeah, it's ironic.
It's like calling a fat guy tiny.
He doesn't
exactly.
Have a tobacco store.
Yeah, I don't have a tobacco store. And then,
be confident.
I have a new YouTube channel that I just did all this basically because I knew I was going to be on here and would have a chance for some.
Go ahead, man. Plug away.
Got the Twitter @RyanLinaIsFunny, and then I have a YouTube channel @RyanLinaIsFunny. I have some of my stand-up clips on there. I've edited down. I just bought like new video editing and stuff like that.
Right.
Got kind of conned into, which is great. And then,
can you wrap this up? Or?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I
Busted your chop.
well, that's all I got. So
no, good. I mean, good for you. And definitely come back. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
one night
having
when I'm not here, Dan will be here. Ralphie May gets home sometimes. By the way, I saw the
Mike
again.
Lawrence?
You were great on the roast battle.
Well, the first one was uncomfortable.
Well,
he
yeah.
made it personal, and it fucking like
Wait. Now, what you did? Who were we talking about?
ran as easy.
Okay, I just saw the
9/11?
last one.
Oh, with
the girl.
Yeah, she was
And
good.
I know you were very funny. I didn't see the first one. When
Yeah.
it got like it's getting too. Those roasts are getting too mean.
They get contentious. And
They do.
You know what though? He's a fucking douche.
What guy?
Steve Ranazzi.
The 9/11 guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
the fucking that jerk off.
He's a
what
fucking-
jokes you have on him about lying?
Well, the big pop of the set. It was an ugly set. I flubbed the line. He flubbed the line.
Right.
But he flubbed his opener.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard.
Was
dude.
he a good comic before? Like,
He's all right. He's like fine. He's like
Okay.
he's like a storyteller. He's like fine.
Right.
But he's not like a great storyteller. He's solid.
so without lying about that, he's not famous. Without lying about being.
He's
No,
the
he was
lead.
on the league for 7 seasons.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But his
now why
opener,
is he
he
famous?
couldn't get his opener was about my girlfriend.
Oh,
and he
come
fucking, which like she's in the crowd.
That's
dude.
not. See, that's what the roasts are becoming. It's not cool.
And it's
not cool.
it's about a fucked up thing that happened to her. And then it's like, so he flubs the line. And he can't get it out, and the crowd is like going like booing him. It's a hostile crowd.
First of all, to bring that up, who knows that reference? Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
he was trying to, it was a
Yeah.
fucking ugly thing.
Right.
But he flubs that, and I say on a scale of 1 to 10, I give that a ground 0. And that's that was like what won the set for me, because like we both sucked after that, but that line was like what buried, that buried him. You know.
Well, that's what I mean. The road, it gets awkward, and then you look like funny people look not funny with a crowd like that. That's the worst thing you want to do.
I had a joke
when
I
you're
thought was
hilarious.
really-
Prove you're not funny to people.
Also, they made like 8, 9, 11 jokes before the roast starts. I'm like, hey, could you stop stepping on my fucking on the only thing people give a shit about?
It's like Bob Levy. Bob Levy opened for you. He would. His last bit was getting a chick out of the audience, pouring blue cheese dressing on her ass and looking it out. I would follow sexual assault. I'm following a felony.
But it's like, this guy clearly is only interested. I mean,
That's horrible.
I'm trying. We were trying to reduce him to 9/11. He's not more interested. If he thought he was more interesting than 9/11,
Right.
he wouldn't have made it up.
That's the most
That's
interesting
the fucking
thing.
joke.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. I said something about like your kids are 4 and 6, which means someday they'll be 9 and 11, and you only claim to be there for them.
Well, but you should. How was Pearl Harbor as well? Fucking, but I know what you're saying about the going there, about someone not even you in your life. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, you're ruining my fucking home life. I could say some fucking dark shit
right.
about his home life that I know that I fucking didn't.
And exactly, that's what I mean. Now you do an inside
I'm not
joke.
trying to ruin
the
lives.
audience doesn't know what you're
Although I
talking
did fucking play mind games with him all week. I really did. I was a dick. I mean, I'm not going to deny it. I was tweeting at him nonstop.
Well, that's
I was
why
riling people up on him.
Well, that's why I stopped. The dope some people have on me. I mean, the statute of limitations is not up on certain things. But,
Well, I'm like, look, this guy. But then the one with the girl you saw, Sarah Tiana, that was fun. She was cool. I mean,
she won, right?
she won in overtime.
Clearly, she was the funniest one there. Clearly. Again, it gets to Jeff with the Ralphie May thing. Ralphie May with that between the divorce and he's heavier than he's ever been. If Ralphie May knows about a roast in his town within a mile, he should move away from it. Why go and put? He looks suicidal. At the end of it.
But also, Ralphie, like, don't fucking sign up for a roast and then be like, you're gonna call me fat.
That's what I said. Yeah, why would you go to a roast if you're him? And that awful divorce shit that's going on with him.
Yeah, it's
Man.
ugly. That shit hurts, but like I think all personal stuff is fine. I think Mike and I talk about, Lawrence and I talk about this, and we're like, the way you should do it is meet beforehand and be like, hey, is there anything you don't want me to talk about? Let's make this good entertainment.
Right,
That's the
but
point.
then Ralphie goes the fat stuff. It's like Fred Gwynn.
But it'd be funny to go the other way. You could just be like, Ralphie, you look well. I mean,
yeah.
that's funny to go that way.
Herman Munster, Fred Gwynn, came into the Howard Stern show and said, I won't talk about the Munsters. Like stuff like that. But when it started, the last roast I did I did Hefner and I did the Shatner thing, and me and Greg Geraldo were on the Shatner thing. Joel Gallen pulled us in.
Dude, he was so great.
Joel Gallen pulled us in twos and said, okay, Shatner's wife died in a pool and he found her. That's the one thing you can't talk about. And I literally, the slob I am, I go, was someone thinking about making a joke about that? And then I look, I go, I would never. Of course, I look over at Geraldo. He clearly had 20 minutes.
He's crossing stuff out.
Okay, you know what? I'll end with this: the greatest Geraldo story ever. That roast. Okay. Me and him were the only two I got flown out from New York. So we're both in the first class part of JFK. I'm waiting there. I get there first. He shows up 5 minutes before the plane is going to be flying away. And we partied together quite a bit. And we knew each other as sort of demons. And he shows up. He's been up for 4 days. And stimulants down. And he was coming down from... like meth and blow. And I said, I had a bunch of Vicodin on me. I said, sit down. I said, have a couple of Vicodin. I'll get you a beer. He calmed down, and I've been there before. The anxiety was, we had to land, go to a dress rehearsal at CBS Radford, and then sleep on it and go to the show the next day. So I literally held his hand the entire plane ride. I changed my seat. I sat next to him. He couldn't go to the bathroom from anxiety. I went to the bathroom and stood in front of the bathroom to make sure nobody went in. And I got him to L.A. I changed my town car to his. I went in his hotel room and sat by the bed, made sure he was hydrated. And by 5 a.m., he fell asleep. At noon, I woke up next to his bed, never checked in yet. We had to be downstairs at 1 o'clock. We go to the dress rehearsal. He still doesn't feel great. I stand by him, and Farrah Fawcett was on the road. Farrah Fawcett's doing her jokes 4 feet from us, and Geraldo's freaking out. I'm like hugging him. We get back to the hotel. About 8 p.m. that night, he's finally fine. He goes, I got through it. And you can get through that. And he gave me a big hug. He was almost crying. He goes, Art, thank you. And I said, dude, he did similar shit for me. He would have done it for me. We're cool. I said, why don't we go together tomorrow? He'll fine. So we go to the thing together. He's the first roaster up. I'm sitting next to Andy Dick on the other side. Okay. Televised part of the show starts. Jason Alexander introduced Geraldo. Geraldo's first joke on TV. This is what he does. Artie Lang's here. Look at you, Artie. You fat fucking drug addict. First thing he said, I look at him like this, and he went...
That was a great Geraldo face.
I laughed so hard when he did that. I felt no one knows what I'm laughing at. I tried to tell Joel Gallen the story. He goes, we can't air it because, first of all, I wasn't famous enough to be the first joke. Second of all, he goes, no one get. I go, okay. I went up to Geraldo and he was laughing. I go, dude, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I literally held his hand. I almost got arrested. You fat fucking drug addict. It gets him laugh. That gets him laugh. And I go, and he was sort of mocking me. I went, anyway.
That's awesome.
I fell over laughing. I said, you know what? That's a comedian.
Yeah.
That's a comedian. Of course, he's dead.
He's great. He was the best.
Yeah,
man.
he was a funny.
comic.
He found his Yankee Stadium with the roasts. He tried to find a niche for a long time, and people don't realize that. You talk about Attell. Geraldo disappeared for a long time and came back and was doing a David Attell impression. I pulled Attell aside and said, someone's got to tell Greg the way he's coming back is he doesn't even realize, and this happens to people who hung out with Attell, especially fans of his, like Jay Okerson, like those guys, they were doing impressions of him and had to make themselves stop. And it happens when you're the funnier guy. I was talking like Norm for a while. And I kind of pulled Greg aside and said, you're doing David Attell. And he didn't even know it. And Attell was afraid to say anything. And he was doing the cadence, like, not the jokes, the cadence.
Right.
And he figured it out and stopped and got better and became what he became. And then the roasts were like, but the demons were too big for him, man. He loved the idea of the rock and roll part of getting high. He loved that. He didn't want... Mitch Hedberg told all of his friends, I'm never stopping. Stop trying to... I'm never going to stop doing heroin. That's why I got the camper. I'm not going to fly, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Me, Geraldo, and Mitch Hedberg went to the Chelsea Square Diner one night in about, I'm going to say 1998-ish, after the Cellar. And I get freaked out sometimes thinking I'm the guy here of those three guys. I freak myself the fuck out. when I think about that. And the stories of like that one, like with him, and then the drug dealer, the people you meet in this business. It's a fucking journey that. People ask me why I have great stories. I'm a fucking junkie who's also a road comic. There's going to be story. When those worlds collide, I'm never going to stop being either one, clearly. But when those roads collide, shit's going to happen. And Greg's got kids. His wife is a sweetheart.
It's really, really sad.
But it's sad, but it's also like I wouldn't change a thing. I would not do this and go through all the hell I've gone through with the dope. To be an accountant, to be like a successful dentist, you know what I mean? I would do it. I would do it all over again.
Yeah.
And if you don't, to like young people, I try to think what to tell like you guys. Like that's it. Like if you don't think that way, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should make that decision now. And with that, I'll end with the Queers parody. Going to bars where everyone straight gets to be a rut. You want to go where you can get rammed in the butt. And Judy Garland's all they play. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows you're gay. And they're not afraid to say. When I look at his ass, I lick my chops. And all the bar stools have no tops. You want to go where everybody knows. And then I held my hand down. Old Carnegie Hall said, you're gay.
Incredible.
I'm in San Fran next week. That's perfect. I really am.
And with that, I'm retired.
I really am.
I didn't know where you playing, Punchline or Cobb's?
I'm doing something for CISO on Tuesday.
Oh, it's a great city.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah. And then Beth is coming out, so we're doing a show at Murphy's Pub. It's just the two of us and a couple.
That's
people
awesome. Again, Sam's girlfriend Beth wrote for Crashing, which I did my first ADR for today, and me and Gina Gershon making out. It's funny. And Beth was such a sweetheart and so talented, very funny. She was very talented. Good to me there, and
loves you.
Yeah, no, she was very sweet, and I'm glad you guys are a couple of two of my favorite people now. And say hi to San Fran. I will really end with this joke because I open up for Norm at the Palace of the Fine Arts Theater in San Francisco. He says to me, "Hey man, we're in San Francisco. No fag shit." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "No, man." He goes, "Listen, I played the Punchline, and now those are clubs, a theater. We're getting reviewed, man. Don't do this to me. No fag shit." I'm like, "Okay, I don't have to do it." I had 2 minutes for that. No. So I get through the set. I bring Norm up. First thing out of Norm's mouth before he says hi, before he breathes, he goes, "Hey, how about that AIDS?" He goes, people say that AIDS doesn't discriminate. And they're always saying bad things, that AIDS is terrible. But AIDS doesn't discriminate. That's kind of nice. Exactly what's happening here, exactly what happened. Then I hear, "Hey, where you going?" That's kind of nice. Where you going?
It's a good premise.
Best review he ever got doing stand-up. A critic was there, San Francisco Chronicle, totally got him. I said, "Norm, you should frame this." The guy knew why Norm was funny. First of all, he recovered and destroyed for a while, but he was, he got why Norm is smart and funny. It was great to see. One guy in Seattle saw me and Norm literally online, some publication. This was the review. Mr. Lang made me nauseous. Mr. McDonald made me throw up. Actual review. You should hire that guy. Guys, thanks. Anything? You done with everything? Yep. Again,
can I plug one other thing? Actually,
go right ahead.
I'm at a Comedy Connection in Rhode Island. Not this weekend, but the next weekend. Yeah,
all good clubs, Comedy Connection.
Yeah, I think it's September. I want to say 17th, 18th, or whatever.
Okay. And same night I'm at Caroline, so we're not bumping it.
and then Chicopee, Massachusetts.
Chicopee is the I've done that too. Is that a Comedy Connection?
Cabot Comedy.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
And then
Cabaret or something.
Yeah, that's something like that.
It's an Indian. It's a Chinese restaurant.
Something like that.
Yeah, they bring out these dishes that are this high in front of you at the table, like you can't see over it.
Sounds comedy friendly.
And with that, I'll end with the Geraldo.